fear holds so many people back in life. It stops them going for stuff. It stops them from really chasing the dreams and the aspirations that they've got and that they really want to achieve in life. And I think a lot of people find themselves pulling back, and they don't put themselves out there. They don't put themselves on the line. They don't take a risk. They're not willing to fail, because they just respond to the short-term emotion, and it feels like it's something that's out of their control. And I think it's really useful to understand how we create these kinds of feelings within ourselves. When I was a young lad and I was playing sports, I used to suffer a lot with anxiety before games and before sporting events. I put so much pressure on myself, and I didn't know any better. I didn't know any different. But the reason why I was feeling that way was twofold, and this will apply across the board. All of the fears that you have that prevent you from going for your dreams, from approaching people, from tackling the issues in your life that you really know you need to step up and face them head on, but you're terrified of facing them head on. There's two things that are going to be going on. One of them is you're going to be playing a scary movie in your head. So you look at athletes who really suffer with performance anxiety before matches, before games, before events. They first of all are more afraid of losing than they are excited about winning, which means that you've got two potential movies that you can play in your head. You've got one movie where you're imagining yourself succeeding and winning and performing really well, and you've got another movie of yourself failing and making mistakes, and you're afraid of this one and you're excited about this one. But if you focus all of your attention on this one, then guess what? You're going to feel more fear, you're going to feel more anxiety. But there's another step beyond this as well, is that you have to attach a certain meaning to this failure movie as well. So first of all, you imagine the worst case scenario, you imagine yourself failing and making mistakes, but also the implications of that for what that means about who you are as a person. And if you're really terrified of failure, chances are that you think of failure as being yet more evidence of yourself not being enough. So in an earlier video, I spoke about self-esteem, and some people develop the habit of having their overriding question in life being, what if I'm not enough? What if there's something wrong with me? And if that's your overriding focus, then every time that you make a mistake, you're going to use that, you're going to judge that through the filter of what if I'm not enough? And you're going to say, look, there's more evidence that I'm not enough. So firstly, you play a scary movie, you imagine yourself failing. And secondly, you attach a very disempowering meaning to failure. You look at failure as just yet more evidence that you're not good enough, that you can't have what you want, that you're not gonna have your needs met in life, that people aren't going to like you, that you're going to get rejected, and all of these other meanings that you associate with failure, as opposed to recognizing that failure is part of success. It's not the opposite, it's not different. And whilst none of us like to make mistakes, none of us like to fail, none of us like to screw up, it never feels good, but the people who succeed in life are the ones who take that hit, they take it on the chin and they use it to get better. They say, you know what, that sucks, but what do I need to do differently next time? What can I learn from this that's going to make me more successful in the future? And they're willing to make mistakes. They're willing to put themselves on the line and to embrace making mistakes. So if you want to overcome fear in your life, if you find yourself holding back and pulling back constantly, even just those small moments, you know, when you want to speak up in a team meeting at work and then you immediately pull back because you're terrified of what other people are going to say, chances are you're doing the same thing. You're imagining the worst case scenario, you're imagining getting shot down, and you're attaching disempowering meanings to that, such as, this means that I'll get rejected for the rest of my life, I won't have the connections that I want in my life, it means that I'm not good enough as a person, as an employee, and so on. So instead, start focusing more on the outcomes that you want. Get excited about success and start imagining yourself succeeding more. You want to spend more time imagining yourself succeeding, and you want to attach different meanings to failure so that you give yourself permission to fail and permission to make mistakes.